Kimberly Perry.
Well, well, well. Look who we have here, everybody.
Yay.
Well.
Wow.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. This room looked completely different the last time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the remodel.
I've grown 2 inches as well. I'm 2 inches taller. Yeah, we've all grown.
Me too, just wider.
You know, I was not going to bring that up unless you did.
Yes.
But you are pregnant.
I am.
How about that?
I am, yeah. Baby coming late August, last week of. Don't know if we're going to have a Leo or a Virgo yet, though.
Wait a minute.
We're on the cusp.
Oh, you mean that's what's that? The symbol? What's it called?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
sign.
Are you into astronomy?
Astrology.
Oh, wait, sorry. See,
Astronomy.
This is how little I know about it. Yeah. Are you into astrology?
I find that, I think we're all quantifiable in some way. I'm a Cancer.
She does. Oh, no, she does.
I'm a Cancer. I'm a big fan of the Enneagram because I feel like
that I'm into.
They see me.
Yes.
So what are you?
I'm a Cancer, and on the Enneagram, so it's shifted. I was a 3-wing 4. Now I am a 2-wing 3.
Wait, you're a helper?
I am a helper. Yeah.
As a 2.
Wow,
Yeah.
as a lead singer, you're a 2?
I am. Well, I mean, and that has shifted. Literally, I took the test the first time 2 years ago and was very solidly a 3-wing 4. I think it actually comes to the competitive nature that has shifted in me. I think I'm a lot more led by heart these days. And I took the test at 6 a.m. 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I've changed.
Wow.
So says the Enneagram. Growth, yeah.
I'm an 8.
Are
you know
you
who,
really?
you know
My
who else are
husband's
8?
an 8.
Other dictators.
No,
That's
it's true.
right.
Oh, my.
Well, I married an 8, and I'll tell you, an 8 with a 2 is a great combo because he sees all the things, and he's Scorpio as well. So he's like, we have a double whammy.
Here she goes with the Scorpio Cancer. Are they good?
I am an 8 and a 1.
Wow, so you're principled.
And it's and I'm a justice seeker if somebody gets screwed over.
Yeah.
And also, the weird thing is, and I'm not exaggerating, I have never been wrong. So it's pretty cool to be an 8. And
Typical 8.
Yeah, never. It's been just really cool. So just happy to
The
be
sky
here.
is blue, but is it really?
Hey, let's talk about colors, actually. On the palette. So, okay, back to you, Kimberly Perry. We're here on the show one day, and we read that you guys are no longer a band. Now, I say to myself, one of them is going to come here and go solo.
Really?
And I predicted it would be you. And I said, I predict what they do is going to be good, but I didn't know which one it was going to be. What happened? What happened with the group? What can you tell me?
I can tell you that I feel like the three of us grew up a lot. The last few years were pretty transformative. Of course, COVID was like a pregnant pause for everybody. The three of us had been living in LA for about 3 years before 2020 and ended up moving back home to East Tennessee in the mountains. And I, for one, was at this point, I was just like, we've spent our entire childhood in really close quarters on a tour bus. And as I look around as the oldest sibling too, I was like, I kind of felt this responsibility that none of us have really developed our lives outside of creative and really outside of each other. So I think the genesis of it was really about creating space to live life and make sure that we hadn't left too much on the table for ourselves. But then creatively, it also felt like we were feeling things in a different way. And it was almost unfair for everybody to just have to do the one thing that brought us to the dance in the first place, because for somebody that was not going to be authentic and it wasn't going to be a true identity. And so that was just a moment to have a lot of existential conversations. We made a ton of music at the end of COVID together down in Dallas, Texas. And it was more fun than I thought maybe it was TBP's third record. Was our intention going in.
The band
Perry.
Got it.
But it just turned out, it was no, this was just a really fun experiment. And we got to know each other even better as friends than just siblings for the first time. But that moment was a catalyst for me. I met my husband down there. We eloped to Vegas 8 months later. And it was like Reed met his girlfriend, his now fiance, almost wife. Neil's engaged. And everybody just needed the space to grow.
What age did you start together? Because you're right.
Long time.
The only thing that I knew of you was together. And I knew you, I think I probably had spent, and we weren't hang out friends by any way, but I think I knew you, was closer to you just when I would see you than your brothers.
Yeah.
So I don't know really what they do and what they're about, but I just always knew you guys together, always.
Yeah.
How long? How old?
Well, and so did we, by the way. We needed to learn that apart as well. But the first show, Neil, who was the youngest, he was 8 years old.
That's crazy.
Reed was 10.
Their whole life then
I
is
was
that.
15. Yeah. So, it's been a really transformative couple of years. And obviously coming on the heels of everything, our career went in a million different directions. As TBP, some of the things that I'll take some creative credit for those decisions, other things we just were beyond our control. And there was just this moment from time to time, it was like, man, is this whole thing just in ashes for a second? Like, how do we kind of rise above the moment? And it turned out that the rising above it was really that the three of us just needed to sort of get that space and be ourselves. And so I'm excited to see what they're working on too. To be honest, we've kept it very close to the chest because we're trying to just be like family for a second. It's always just been about music and business, and that's been really fun. But I'm just so blessed to get to know them as brothers now,
I definitely could see where that would be new and exciting. And when you talk about being together a long time and wanting to not be together anymore, that's how we do right here on the show. I can't stand them anymore. God dang, we've been together 12, 15 years now. And it's like, I want to do that with them. I want to be Kimberly Perry and do my own thing, but they won't let me everywhere I go.
It's 17 years here and 20 with Lunchbox.
Oh, yeah,
that's amazing.
Feels like 50. Yeah.
That's a legacy.
I'm kidding.
It's very similar, though. It's a lifetime.
And I would imagine, too, and I don't want to talk about the TBP for very much, but, we have all been together 20 years, forever, since we were very, very young. And we have been together so much that we really have a lot of love. We also, because we're so close, have a lot of fight.
Yeah.
And that's
Totally.
it's a hard thing for me to be the boss, but with my friends, that dynamic, were you the boss?
It's a little easier with siblings because you're just you can kind of fight. It just goes with the territory. I think that we had our areas of bossiness. Definitely when it came to what songs we chose and the recordings, that was kind of my territory and my turf. Reed was more developing our live show and our sets, and he would have bands rehearse. Neil was definitely more the social media. He's the youngest, so we were like, if you could just, that's your universe, So it was a really cool thing to get to divide and conquer in the band Perry. But I think it's almost been more empowering to get to be, as a solo artist, I'll just speak for myself in it. It's been really amazing to kind of have my hands on all the steering wheels. That's been a fun thing.
I like it. But I don't call you guys the band Perry. I call you TBP. So can we do that from now on? Just make sure we stay with the
TBP.
Yeah. It's really cool. I'm glad that you are, and I know you've been back, but I'm glad that you're here and you're back again.
Thank you.
Because I just like you. I think what you're about to do, not just this song, but I think what you're about to do is going to be really cool.
Thanks.
And needed and welcomed. And I don't know. Let's move on to the next chapter.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
I was thinking about, because the song we're going to do in a second, it's If I Die Young. Is it do they call it part 2? You call it part 2?
Yeah, we're going to call it If I Die Young part 2.
So I was thinking of other sequel songs. Do you know any other ones?
I don't.
Oh, I got 3 for you.
Okay, hit me.
Another Brick in the Wall part 2.
Okay. Don't know it, though.
Pink Floyd. All in
No, I
all,
know.
it's
My
just
Pink Floyd count.
another brick in the wall. Nothing?
So there was a part 2. Was it titled part 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
You don't know Pink Floyd?
I don't know the
It's before I was
catalog as well
alive,
as
but
I
it was a
Keep going,
No, you
Bones.
don't.
We
It was before
don't
I was
need
alive.
to
Don't
know.
It's
say
a
you
mood,
should.
No,
but
yes,
I
it's
don't.
time to shame Kimberly Perry. I'm just kidding. Okay, next up, next single, Confessions Part 2 from Usher.
Oh,
I do know Confessions part 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
forgot
then
about that
Snoop Dogg, Still a G Thing.
Really?
Sorry,
Still.
Thang.
Thang with an
Yes.
A. T-H-A-N-G.
And I'm going to say what you're doing is better than all 3. I've said it.
Yeah.
I've said it. What?
these are my confessions.
No, it's
Just
better
when
than
I
that.
thought I said all I
No,
could
no.
say.
Whatever. This If I Die Young
Good.
Part 2 is better than that.
I feel like I'm in good company then. That makes me feel great.
Okay, so we're going to talk more about the career in a second, but you know what I want to do first? I want to play If I Die Young Part 1, because I don't want people to watch Rocky 2 without seeing Rocky 1, because you need to know what happened in the first
You gotta
one.
have some context.
Yeah, you got to see Rocky and Apollo fight in the first one, so you know when they fight again what that.
Yeah.
So why don't we play that? What?
I love this song. This is one of those songs that was so big at the time that it takes you back, at least me. I know as soon as this song hits, I'm going to be in North Carolina in my yellow house, upstairs, vacuuming.
I'm going to be training.
That's what I was.
Vacuuming.
I was
The
listening-
association.
Yeah, no, I
love
associate
it.
my life
Like
with
I
big
just
songs.
remember,
Yeah.
we had just moved into
Yeah.
the house, and I was getting it ready and cleaning it, and just I was doing the radio show from my garage,
No way.
so I could link up with them because my husband at the time was in the military. And
I was
anyway.
UFC fighting. I just lost a belt.
Oh yeah,
And that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
too.
it'll take you back.
So we're gonna play the sequel, which is "If I Die Young" Part 2. Was there any sort of, I don't know, is this song gonna be awesome, or is this song gonna be only a novel song? Because you do have to kind of weigh that.
Yeah.
Did you have that conversation with your close people?
We did, yeah. And I actually, the best conversation we had about it was with my co-writers, Jimmy Robbins, who's here with me today in studio, and Nicole Gallion. So we got into the writing room. We had kind of talked about, there's a good friend that I was having coffee with last summer. Her name is Tamara Conniff, and she was sort of asking me about the original version of If I Die Young and the motivation behind it, like where did it come from? And she just like stopped sipping her coffee for a second. It's like this aha moment. And she just said, would you ever write a part 2, a sequel? And it's like that girl 10 years later that didn't die young. Like what's happened in her life? What's she thinking about now? Does she agree with her original like young self? And that was sort of the genesis of the idea. And I just knew that we had to write it. But the first conversation that we had once we got it in the room with Nicole and Jimmy, it was like, what are all the things the song does not need to be? Like, we can't rob it from the original lovers of the first version because it walked with people during times of loss. You know, like it was a heavy song, so much bigger than me, so much bigger than TBP. You know, it was almost like this cultural moment that they took and made their own. So it was a little daunting, like a little scary at first to just go, how do we not rob it? And how do we not make it a novelty too? Like it has to be at least as good, like if not better. Like we really have some big shoes to fill.
My boss called me the first time he had heard it. It's been maybe a few weeks ago. And he goes, hey, do you know Kimberly Perry? I was like, if I saw her, I think we would know each other and we'd say, hey, how's it going? I feel like it's been a while, but we've spent enough time in and around each other. I said, yeah, why? He goes, well, I just heard this If I Die Young Part 2. Do you know about it? I said, I do not know about it. And he said, you're going to be surprised. It's really good.
Awesome.
So that's like somebody who just hears so much music and does not give a crap.
Totally.
But was saying, hey, you're going to be surprised. It's really good. Because mostly I'm like, that's crap. And
well, you know, we had to be really careful. Like, I didn't want it to be this thing, too. Obviously, I'm coming back into the country space. It's been a hot minute. This is a homecoming. I didn't want anybody to misinterpret, oh, well, let's just, like, you know, it is a full circle moment for me. I love that it's connecting dots with my voice and this chorus and country music. But it was also important to me that nobody misinterpreted the intention of writing it. It was not to like get back through the crack in the door. It just felt like a piece. I've healed so much. I've learned so much. I do disagree with the original version. Now I know there's no such thing as enough time. There's so much
Set that up
more.
for me. What do you mean enough time?
Well, the first chorus said, now I know there's such thing as enough time. Now I've had just enough time. What's the original lyric? Now I know I've had just enough time. This chorus, we go, now I know there's no such thing as enough time. And I think that's really come from just the evolution of life, like all the blessings that have come into it. There's more to lose at this point. Thank God, you know?
When you sing that song, after Thanksgiving and I eat huge, I can't even talk. And you're pregnant and you're singing like that.
Yeah, I'm figuring out how to breathe and sing at the same time. I've decided right now when we're doing acoustic, I can sing really soft. But I'm like, not to be too technical about my voice, but I really breathe from down deep. And apparently there's a baby there now. And so I'm having to figure it all out again.
Do you think a baby hears you sing or hears anybody sing that can sing and hears pitch? And do you think that actually helps the baby know pitch when it comes out?
I'm hoping. Like, my fingers are crossed so hard because it would just be, first of all, my husband is 6'5", so I feel like we're going to have a very tall baby. I'm 5'3", so I'm hoping he has like his height and my pitch, and I'd be like, this little person can do anything.
Unless he has your height and your husband's pitch. And then you'd be like, what just happened here?
It could go that way. It's a roll of the dice.
Here we go. Look, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see everything that happens. This is super cool. I'm glad.
Thanks so much for having me. It's good to see you.
And I will tell you this. Sometimes, and I even say it on the show, some people come in and I'm like, they're not really committed. They're just trying to do like, watch me be country for a minute. I just don't feel that way about you.
Well, I feel like, it's been funny. The original If I Die Young was a solo write for me mid-20s. And I'll be honest, over the last, I don't know, handful of years, 5, 6 years, there were these moments when I would really need to go back to that song to remember myself, you know? It was kind of like to find my creative core. I could go, well, that's the girl that fills melody like that and likes to write lyrics like that. So in making a solo project, to be able to go back to that core and know that my heart and my core, Kimberly, is a country singing songwriter. That's been a great thing to kind of like self-identify all over again. So thank you for feeling that way, because it truly is like the conviction in my heart, and I don't really know how to do anything but that.
And also, for example, if someone says, hey, this show's really good on Netflix, and it's somebody that I have like sensibilities with, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and it usually is pretty good. But like, I know Nicole Gallion real well, and she's awesome. And when she's like, yeah, it's for real. Like, I believe Nicole Gallion.
Totally.
So, yeah, super. Do you play piano?
I do.
Are you good?
Yeah, piano's probably like I'm a very lumberjack guitar player, so piano would probably be my main instrument. Yeah.
So if they said play one instrument and you showcase it, that'd be piano.
Yeah.
Can you play classical stuff?
I was trained classically. I'll be honest, I haven't read music since I was probably 18, so I would be really rusty. But when I took piano lessons as a kid, my teacher actually stopped teaching me because I had joined a band, and she felt like the calluses from guitar were making my touch less sensitive. So she's like, you're going to have to choose between, rock and roll or classical.
Have you played a show by yourself where it's not a showcase for industry folks that you're back? Mm-mm. Is that exciting to you?
It is. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a CMA Fest.
Opry.
And the Opry.
Saturday.
Yeah, the Opry. For the first time, we're doing 3 songs. And it is. I mean, again, it's this weird thing of like figuring out who I vibe the most with. Obviously, with Reed and Neil, we were just this built-in like band in a box. We could always go everywhere. So I think really finding players who align with the music and whose souls kind of align on stage is going to be a really fun sort of science experiment. And then right now, just figuring out how to sing the songs pregnant. That's the daunting task of the moment. But live and on stage is where I've always just felt the most comfortable and the most at home. So I'm looking forward to just getting back and playing these songs out.
Well, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Kimberly Perry. You can follow her at the Kimberly Perry, which I assume that's a pretty common name, and it was hard to just get Kimberly Perry.
Yeah, it was already taken. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you don't want to use Kimberly Perry BTP. Wait, what?
TBP.
Yeah.
TBP.
Yeah. Because that ain't the thing, That ain't the thing anymore. Okay. Go have a happy career, and then we'll see you whenever this song is hitting #1 or whenever you put out the record. You're putting out like a record in June?
June 9th, yeah. It's called the Bloom Project. So the first EP is called Bloom of the project, and it's June 9th with 5 songs.
Are you into fashion? Are you a fashion person?
I love it.
Like what? Like what?
I love like a Southern Gothic vibe. So I'm wearing my little like Southern Gothic lace skirt
like
today.
Like if Batman
exactly
grew up in a trailer in Arkansas. That's what it feels like to me.
Wow. I have not heard it described like that, but I'm probably going to use that again. Yeah, it's like I really loved Beyonce's Lemonade film was shot down south, and so much of that vibe feels like it's like romantic, but it's still kind of like, rock and roll at the same time. Yeah, I love fashion. I geek out on it.
Well,
for sure.
Jimmy's here with you, who wrote the song. Jimmy, let me have 30 seconds of your time.
Yes, sir.
What's it like to be awesome?
It feels good. It feels
good.
Natural to me, authentic.
Yeah. Jimmy, how many #1s do you have? I'm asking you. You're not bragging. I'm asking you this question. How many #1s have you written?
11.
Okay. And how rich are you now? I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's that.
He has a very nice house.
Yeah.
Any rebuttal to that?
It's good. It's a good house.
All right, there he is, the great Jimmy. Kimberly Perry.
seconds.
Yes, it's over. Kimberly Perry at the Kimberly Perry. Opry on Saturday night. If I Die Young Part 2. It is out. It's out today. Go check it out. And that is it. Good to see you.
Good to see
you
you.
soon.
Thank you guys
there she
for
is.
having me.
Kimberly Perry.
Thank you.
It's a Bobby Bones show.